Welcome back to day 5. Today's routine, we're going to be pushing the mobility exercises and the stretches a little bit further, holding them for a little bit longer, and starting to add in movement through the lower back as well as the neck to help with overall rib and spinal function. So for the first exercise of today's routine, it's all about adding in that diaphragm breathing again, because when we engage that diaphragm, so as we're breathing in, pushing the tummy out, and as we breathe out, pulling the tummy in, it just allows us to get a little bit more control over that rib movement. The idea is, compared to when we did this on other routines when we were standing, is it's a lot easier to go a little bit stronger, a little bit deeper with your breath, particularly if you're lying on the ground with the back flat. It can be a lot easier to control that diaphragm breathing. Next, we want to add that inhibition. So do you remember from yesterday's video where we followed the ribs round? Same thing again, as we're breathing in, we're doing nothing, and as we're breathing out, we're gently putting the hands up underneath the ribs. A lot of people, this is an easier way to inhibit that diaphragm by doing it with breathing, and you want to go through a couple of cycles, so once all the way down the side of the ribs, back to the beginning, and then repeating it again. So as we're breathing in, not pushing in, as we're breathing out, that is when you add that inhibition. Next, we want to look at stretching through the upper back to open up through the ribs, and this is a great way of doing this. So I rolled up a pillow, you can roll up a towel or a yoga mat, you can even put a cushion underneath your neck if it's too much doing it this way, and you're going to lie back onto that towel, that pillow. It causes that extension in the upper back and causes the front of the ribs to stretch. Next, we want to move on to a cat-cow stretch. Again, like I said earlier in the video, in the intro, we want to start to add in the neck and the lower back as well. Really, really important with that rib breathing and that rib movement. You know, we want the spine to be functioning as well. Aiming for about 5 to 10 seconds doing this, you know, it doesn't have to be ages. And then once we've done that cat-cow movement, nice, slow and controlled, adding in that side to side stretch to open up around the side of the ribs. So really, really important, opening up the side of the ribs, stretching into the side of the body, opening up through the side, so allowing that to relax just so we get that really lovely movement through. And then gently relaxing back into that child's pose position here. So that stretches out the lower back into the ribs, into the shoulders, all really important to relax to allow us to move. And then finally, once we've added that child's pose stretch, we can then add in a tiny bit more of rotation as well. So when you're in that child's pose, you can bring the arm underneath to stretch through the back of the shoulders to add in that rotation through the ribs, and then we can repeat that on the opposite side. Lovely, slow and controlled, and then repeating this routine very, very gently either side, stretching through the ribs and then relaxing.